For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your home.
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it come fight night.
I know Turkey's in your corner,
I promise you.
But look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
Even though they said they'd stay respectful, Terence Crawford and CaneloAlvarez didn't hold back for long. Their press conference quickly turned into a heated back and forth full of trash talk.
Because we are two fighters.
Yeah, two fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk about the fight because they want to say something. But people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fight. Yeah. We don't need to talk.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September.
All that friendly energy disappeared fast. They started throwing shots just like they would with any regular rival. And if you're wondering who lit the fuse,
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You're gonna see.
We'll
you know
see.
it.
We'll see. We'll see.
in what's being called the fight of the century, Canelo made it clear he doesn't think this will be a close match. Crawford is stepping up from light middleweight, and Canelo had already said he didn't think much of the matchup since Crawford started out as a lightweight. When asked if losing to Crawford, already a two-time undisputed champ, would hurt his legacy, Canelo, calm at 34, said he's not going to beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not going to beat me. I believe this fight will go down in boxing history. But trust me, he's not going to beat me. Don't worry about it.
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
He's not me. I've got the experience. Alvarez said confidently during the event. People always talk about my power, but I bring a lot more than that. This fight will be one of my best. Even though he's only 34, 3 years younger, he turned pro at 15 and now holds 11 world titles, 27 title fights, and 67 bouts total. Some say he's ready to hand over the torch to Crawford. He's not going to beat me, don't worry about it, Canelo said again with a grin. Crawford laughed and replied, for sure, these belts are coming home with me.
Streets, you and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Y'all know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm me against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So you know what I mean. That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different. No, it's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the streets.
They may be 26 fights apart in experience, but Crawford has a record most boxers can only dream about. With 19 straight title fights and 2 undisputed runs in different divisions, Crawford now aims to be the first male to ever be undisputed in 3 weight classes. A shout out to Claressa Shields, who already did it for the women. I'm taking those belts, and you can't stop it, Crawford said. When the bell rings, you'll see I'm not like the others. Canelo, who's been champion from 154 to 175 pounds, snapped back, you don't look different. Nothing's different. He called himself a born winner and told Crawford there's nothing that stands out. Crawford calmly said, I'm different. You'll see it.
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running. You know, I could tell you that. But I will be, you know, doing a lot of touching.
Give me ground. He's a great fighter, like But like I say, he's not Canelo.
Canelo turned pro in 2005 at just 15. Crawford started in 2008 at age 20. With support from Alalshik, Crawford says this is the fight he's been chasing. I called him out. He's the last big name left from that golden era. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar de la Hoya. We both came up during those days, but he got to fight those legends. I didn't. This is it for me. This is my shot. Crawford hasn't fought since August, when he beat Israel Madrimov 30 for the WBA light middleweight title. Canelo, on the other hand, took back his 168 pounds undisputed title in May against William Skull 32 in Riyadh. Both men are fired up and ready.
Excited. I'm very excited, motivated, because this is all about. I want to make history, and I'm very excited for this fight. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in.
This one's set for Netflix at the Las Vegas Raiders' $1 billion, 65,000 seat stadium. Crawford says he's not losing anywhere. Come on, man, you know what I do, he said. I don't need to talk tough. Whether in the streets or anywhere else, I'll never say another man can beat me. That's all I've got to say. But Canelo fired back. This isn't the streets. This is boxing the sweet science.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. As simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I didn't.
And is any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
After the back and forth, host Todd Grisham asked where both fighters were mentally. Crawford said he's not worried about what the judges might say. I can't think about that, he explained. I just need to focus on what I control, and that's winning clean inside the ring. He added, like I always say, anyone can get knocked out. Canelo's got a solid chin, he's strong, and yeah, we've seen him rocked a few times, not enough to count him out, but it happens. With the right setup, anyone can fall. I always show up when it counts, and I'm not letting him take this away from me. Moving up 2 weight classes, Crawford knows it won't be easy. Canelo knows it too.
A lot of fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
Canelo's been in that spot before, fighting as the smaller guy, and came out with the win more than once. He says size won't be a problem when he takes on the undefeated 2-weight undisputed champ on September 13th. I've done this before. I'm not worried, said Canelo. I just stay focused, train hard, and stay ready. Whether the guy's bigger or smaller, I always prepare like I'm facing the best. I'm a winner. That's my mindset. I'm thankful to Netflix, Turkey, and everyone behind the scenes. This fight is about history, and I'm proud to be part of it.
When would you say, from memory, that you first thought this fight was a real possibility, that you started thinking about this fight actually happening?
With the fight set to make history, both fighters had words for their fans. They know I always give it everything, Canelo said. I'm thankful for their support and hope they'll be watching or in the stadium, cheering me on to win. Crawford called on his fans to make the trip from Omaha, Nebraska to Las Vegas in full force. He said he's ready to shock the world again by beating Canelo and adding another legendary victory to his resume.
There's a lot of experts that think Canelo's not the same fighter. His punch output's a lot less. What do you think, considering the last 12 months or so? Is he the same fighter he was maybe a few years ago?
I think he is. I just think, he just wasn't up for the Skull fight. And I think, different fighters bring different, energies out of other fighters.
A lot of people are judging you on the Madrimov fight, saying you struggled moving up in weight, you're going further up in weight, and they're saying that's going to go against you based on the Madrimov fight. How do you
I told everyone, be ready. He said, we're about to add another belt to the collection, and it's going to be a huge day for boxing. We're witnessing history. Terence Crawford is closing in on becoming the first male fighter to be undisputed champion in 3 different divisions. The bout is set for Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, home of the Raiders, with room for 65,000 fans. It also marks the launch of UFC President Dana White's brand new boxing venture, teamed up with Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh. That partnership nearly collapsed, but they managed to revive it. And as for Oscar de la Hoya, don't even bother asking.
Oscar de la Hoya wastes my time with this question.
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick.
Turki Al-Sheikh was right there in the front row, but Dana White didn't show up. The press conference began with Al-Sheikh making opening remarks. He mentioned having dinner with both fighters on Thursday night. Now that the introductions are done, it's time to get serious. I want to thank these two great champions, he said. This came together by the grace of God. Before midnight, we were dining and it was all respectful. After midnight, that's over. It's time to get to work. From this moment forward, it's all business.
After that, we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, it is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
Al-Sheikh, who leads Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, has been at the forefront of the country's major push into boxing over the past 18 months. He usually stays behind the scenes at events like these, but this time he made his expectations crystal clear. He blasted what he called Tom and Jerry fights, where boxers avoid engagement, and made it known he wants nonstop action. The media tour kicked off in Vegas and will move on to New York. For the first 25 minutes, reporters directed every question to Al-Sheikh. The fighters didn't get a chance to speak at first. Saudi Arabia says this sport's push is about economic growth, though critics argue it's about cleaning up the country's image. Al-Sheikh's next big move? He wants to launch mega fights on Netflix under a fresh promotional banner.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste. Oscar.
I want to speak to you about some of Turkey's comments. He said he doesn't want Tom and Jerry, people running away in the ring. What did you make of that?
I agree with that. You know, people want to see a good fight. And I agree with that.
Do you think
because, you know, people come and spend money to see a great fight, and if the other fighter come and run all the night and don't make a good fight, is deceptional.
This is Turki Al-Sheikh, known formally as His Excellency, the man fueling Saudi Arabia's big rise in world boxing thanks to his deep financial backing. I don't like Tom and Jerry boxing, he said, comparing it to fighters who avoid the action. I expect blood, bruises, and real hits from Alvarez and Crawford. That's what boxing's about. He didn't spell out the rules, but the message was clear: no running. Alvarez and Crawford will need to deliver. The two fighters had a face-off in Riyadh ahead of their September battle for the super middleweight crown. In his last outing, Alvarez beat William Skull by unanimous decision, but fans booed. Skull kept dancing around, and Alvarez didn't chase him much. That fight kicked off Alvarez's 5-fight deal with the Saudis.
I waste my time with this question. Of course, it is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
All right, on the left-hand side here.
Do you think he saw your fight with Skull and potentially came to the conclusion?
We talk after about that, and it's very sad. But you know, it is what it is.
I know.
I hope not. Because we expect a great fight, the fight of the century, right? So
I hope not.
Crawford hasn't fought since August 2024, but fans remember that match he defeated Israel Madrimov by unanimous decision. Like Alvarez, Crawford got booed, and the bout had no knockdowns. Alvarez hinted he didn't want a regular 12-by-12 ring, likely hoping that would force more exchanges. He also thought it was a good idea to have a meal with both fighters before the media event. We talked last night, and they're both true professionals, Alvarez said. But after last night, they know what I expect. Still, neither Crawford nor Alvarez gave any real sign that Alvarez's words would affect their fight approach when they clash at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, for the undisputed super middle.
You heard His Excellency saying no more Tom and Jerry, no more running, but you're moving up 2 weight classes. It's not going to be smart for you to stand there and hammer it out with this guy. So how do you kind of balance that, not running, but being elusive in fighting Canelo?
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running.
At 37, Crawford is jumping up 2 weight classes, 14 pounds, to challenge Alvarez at super middleweight. If they go blow for blow, it'll be fireworks, just what Alvarez wants. But don't count on it. Nobody's going to tell me how to fight, Crawford said. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm not going to run, but I will be touching him a lot. To be fair, before the Madrimov fight, Crawford had knocked out 11 straight opponents. Alvarez, 34, believes this matchup will be historic. But let's not forget his recent dull showing against Skull. We won, and that's all that counts, Alvarez said afterward.
Well, listen, I called Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know the Kovalevs and Triple G's, and I wasn't able to get those mega.
If Alvarez had been paying attention during dinner or at the press conference, he'd realize that just winning isn't enough, not for Alvarez and not for the real boxing fans watching.
Your Excellency, Tazzy Brown from Australia, FightHot.com. First of all, congratulations for everything you've done for boxing since you've come into the game. You gave us many great fights, and you continue with Your Excellency to keep giving us greater fights. You're a boxing historian yourself. Do you think this fight resembles Marvin Hagler Sugar admitted in the 80s? The fact that Canelo and Terence Crawford are the 2 great pound-for-pound legends, both first ballot Hall of Famers in the future.
Alvarez hasn't scored a knockout since 2021 when he stopped Caleb Plant in the 11th round. That might be something Alvarez brings up next time he sits down with Alvarez and Crawford. Back to the press event. Things wrapped up with the usual stare down. Then all eyes shifted to the 2 men preparing for war in the ring on September 13th in Las Vegas for the undisputed super middleweight championship. This was the first time since the official fight announcement that both Alvarez
That Terence cannot do.
No, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's not Canelo. Obviously, I'm been in this situation for a long time, and I have the experience. They only focus on my power, but I have more than that, and I think this fight is gonna be one of my best fights.
With music blasting, the 2 fighters stared each other down. Alvarez was the first to break eye contact, holding a calm expression. Shane Mosley, a former 3-division world champ who fought Alvarez in May 2012 and lost the WBC Super Welterweight belt at the MGM Grand, gave his opinion to Boxing Social. When asked if Crawford at 37 could really move up 2 divisions and beat Canelo, he replied, "No, I don't think so. Canelo's got serious skills too. People forget Crawford's not the only one with talent. If this were happening at 154 pounds, maybe, but at 168, I just don't see it happening. Not for me."
I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think that's the reason why, if Crawford was a mover like the rest of us, then maybe he can have a good chance with Canelo. But I think that being that Crawford is a fighter, that's gonna be dangerous. That's gonna be his problem. He's a fighter. He wants to fight, and he's gonna move a little bit, but his heart is not in moving. So he's gonna have to sit there and fight with Canelo. And if you sit there and fight with Canelo, and he's that much bigger than you, then I don't know.
Stepping up to super middleweight in 2018. Canelo has taken out big names like Gennady Golovkin, Jermall Charlo, and Jamie Munguia. If Crawford wins, the undefeated 37-year-old would become the first male fighter ever to be undisputed champ in 3 different weight classes. That would be a record-breaking moment. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest boxing updates, major highlights, and exclusive content. And make sure to turn on those notifications so you never miss a beat. Until next time,